My name is Kevin Ingram. I'm a partner at Clifford Chance, specialising in securitisation, obviously, and I've been a partner at Clifford Chance since 1998. Oh, I've been to a lot of global ABSs. I missed the first ever one in Cork in '97, and I've been to every one since. So on my very dubious maths, I think that makes it 26. Global ABS is really where the whole industry in Europe and the UK get together every year. It's very important to re-establish connections with people, to take the temperature as to where the market is and where the market's going. And over my time at Global ABS, I've seen a lot of different trends and different moods. It's always great when the sun shines and people are happy, but it's also important when it's a bit cloudy and there are difficulties in the market. But Global ABS is always the best place to go to find out what's going on and to talk to the people in the market who really matter. I think there's just been a lot of stuff that's been happening. So obviously there's regulation to have to deal with, regulation both in terms of securitization regulation, but also prudential regulation for banks and the types of transactions they've been doing. That's been a cost, that's been tricky to do. The relative attractiveness of securitization to other forms of finance, such as covered bonds, or even just corporate debt raising, has also been difficult. And securitization has not been big enough at times to merit a lot of positive attention from the regulators. That is changing because the regulators, the policymakers, and indeed high-level politicians are now much more positive about securitization. So hopefully that will be a way of encouraging the market to grow, particularly in Europe, as a way of financing the real economy. So the next big challenge for the market is really to grow, is to have a bigger market, more investors in the market in particular, and to have a way of encouraging the issuers, so to come to the market, which will then encourage the investors to invest more. So I think it's trying to make sure that we have enough demand and also enough supply. That sounds like a big ask. You're trying to cover both sides of that particular equation. But unless that happens, the market's going to remain fairly small and specialist. So it's trying to build it back out into a big market, maybe with different players than there was before the financial crisis, different players in the market, but it would be good to find a way of growing the market, again, particularly in Europe. So the first is the inexorable rise of mezzanine investors and mezzanine in transactions. There's a lot of people now, a lot of investors now are more interested in the mezzanine side of the transaction than the senior end. And indeed, the lack of investors in the senior end is a problem in the market generally. So that's one of the big areas. Another area is, which I think the regulators are potentially quite interested in, is getting regulatory benefits for securitization, for bank issuers in particular. So that's one. And then the third one, which I find particularly interesting, is new jurisdictions and new asset classes. It's an interesting time for innovation at the moment, and I say both in terms of jurisdictions that haven't done a lot of securitization previously, such as the Middle East, and also new types of asset classes like solar panels and things like that, which have not been securitized in significant amounts previously.